So, gusto ko lang mag-sign up or mag-sign in exactly at 6 o'clock. So, just wanted to give it a couple of minutes bago tayo mag-start. Pero, pwede na akong mag-umpisa magkwento para mamaya may oras tayo kung may mga questions or whatever. So, ano lang guys, kung may mga gusto nang magtanong, kasi nagbigay ang Art Plus ng parang mga guide points. So, I'm going to do that. I'm going to answer those questions para hindi naman kayo masyadong mabore. Pero, kung meron kayong mga tanong, go ahead. You can just, put it in chat. You can do a comment. Pero baka hindi ko lang makakita kasi gumagalaw siya. So, in case makaligtaan ko siya, towards the end naman of the IG Live, I will ask everyone to, if anyone has questions. And then, pwede doon ko sagutin. So parang open forum, But for now, I will start with yung mga talking points na binigay nila Ms. Niet over at Art Bus para, I guess, yun yung makakatulong in terms of mga topics natin. Okay? So, sige, I'll start. Please tell us about yourself, your work, and where you are going live from. Well, I am Michael Tuviera. I am a director. I was mainly a director, but now I think I'm more of a producer. Medyo rare na ako nakakapag-direct. Probably once a year, once every 2 years na lang sa pelikula. I used to direct a lot more per year. Kasi talaga passion ko talaga yung directing, especially for film. Pero ngayon, being the head of APT Entertainment, parang mas naging, I've veered towards producing already. So, marami na ring director ang nagpipitch or writers na nagpipitch sa amin, and then I end up producing their films or their works. Pero may mga passion projects pa rin ako that I wanna do. Pero because of my full-time job at APT, I don't get to direct as much as I wanted than, as before. Pero, yun yung trabaho ko ngayon. So mainly, as a producer, we look at scripts, we look at concepts, tapos nagde-decide kami kung ano yung medyo merong potential in terms of what can be produced. And we make either, kasi we serve all kinds of distribution channels. We do films, we do shows and projects for TV, tapos we also do projects for digital, for streaming. Kasi feeling ko yun yung nandun yung growth talaga ngayon, daming gumagawa for streaming. I'm sure especially during quarantine, ang daming nanood ng Netflix and all of these streaming services, even the local streaming services. So yun, so parang lumalaki talaga yung yung market na yon. So we are capitalizing on that as well. Where am I going live from? I'm going live from the same place I've been for the last 88 days. Actually longer. Kasi because I have 3 kids. I have a wife and 3 kids, and parang we wanted to medyo stay safe already bago pa nag-call ng lockdown. I think just a couple of days bago nag-lockdown, medyo hindi na ako masyadong lumalabas. Kasi in our line of work, you really interact with a lot of people. Lalo na kapag merong projects, pag merong mga shoots, dami. Usually hindi ko makulang ng 100. Like probably 100. I think the biggest set I've ever been in is like 350 people. Not a good idea pag may pandemic. So medyo chill muna yung production. But yeah, I'm coming to you live from my house. So how am I doing? I'm doing good. I'd like to say I'm doing better than in the beginning of the quarantine. Kasi sobra siyang strange. I think a lot of people can attest, especially creatives, because I'm part of the Rikili the screenwriting workshop, and a lot of the writers pare-pareho yung nararamdaman, which was it was very hard to be creative habang napaka-destructive ng nangyayari sa labas. First that was the pandemic, and then all of these other issues came up. Ang hirap ang hirap for artists, for writers, storytellers, any sort of when your job or your passions are mainly creative. Tapos there's so much negativity around you in the world. Ang hirap maging positive, you know, and ang hirap mag-create. So what I in the first probably week or two, medyo lost, you know, medyo anxious, kasi hindi ako sanay, you know, when you're a director or producer, you get used, or your body adjusts to yung pagdamanik ng trabaho. And then hindi ako sanay nung nakakulong lang sa bahay. So nung una medyo naninibago ko. And then what I realized is the best way to counter the destruction that's happening outside is to create. You know, kasi yun naman yung polar opposite nun eh. So when everything else is medyo being destructive around you, I mean, you create. Because that's how we counter. We counter the negativity with the positivity. That's what I learned, you know, in the past 88 days. How did the pandemic and lockdown affect you and your working conditions? What are the challenges you are facing? Ito yung medyo malaki naming problema in terms of the film industry. Kasi maraming ang problema sa film industry, the difficulty that the film industry is really facing right now is ever since naman talaga, I'm not sure how many of you guys know about how the film industry works. The film industry in the Philippines is one of the most taxed industries we have. We're actually yun eh, parang if it's a matter of choice, dun pupunta ang karamihan dun sa health, di ba? So wherever it's very very expensive to make any film, you know, in terms of course to bring in people, talent fees, professional fees, rental of equipment, you know, props and everything. It's very very expensive. But what a lot of you may not know is that you will need to make in ticket sales 3 times your budget just to break even. So for example, if you make, I think for a mainstream film, the lowest budget I think you can have for a mainstream film. Mainstream meaning it will have a wide run, not like an indie film where of course you can try to cut the budget naman. But for mainstream films that have wide runs in theaters, the lowest budget generally would be around probably 7 to 10 million. You know, that means if you have, let's say 10 million, but it's easier to compute. If you have a 10 million peso film, it took 10 million to produce that film, you need to earn back in ticket sales 30 million just to break even. So for those who are my FB friends, I posted the other day parang a comparison if you were selling taho, and then if you sell a cup of taho for 10 pesos, you know, you literally or you make it for 10 pesos, you literally have to sell it for 30 pesos just to break even. You know, so that's in the black pa lang ha. Wala pang ano yun, wala pang profit. So it's hard, like especially now also because of the pandemic situation, we're being hit on both sides. You know, what's hitting us from both sides? Number one, we are it is very difficult for us to make our product. You know, so for example, if you're in the visual arts, if you are a writer, you can write. If you are a painter, you can paint. For films, we can't actually make films right now. Because even in GCQ, there's a lot of limitations. And of course, it's still not that safe. So ang mangyayari is that all the producers are medyo biding their time and waiting to see what are the results of the GCQ. You know, if GCQ is lifted, becomes MGCQ or whatever later on, tingnan muna natin. Because of course, it's not worth risking people's lives. You know, that's our crew, that's our staff. So parang wait and see approach na muna ang mga producers. But even if you're allowed, there's still a lot of limitations because we're still in a pandemic situation. So may maximum number of people allowed on set. Merong with no contact, meaning so yung mga mahilig sa romcom, tapos may mga holding hands, kissing scene, wala muna yon. Like bawal lahat yun muna for now. Again, controlled yung number of people on set, controlled yung movement ng tao sa set. It's very, very difficult. Obviously, the hours on set also are very, very much limited. So, yun, mahirap lahat yun right now. So, it's very hard to actually make our product. But, we are attacked on both sides because it is also impossible to sell our product. So, ang hirap na nga gawin yung produkto namin, ang hirap pa ibenta because all theaters are closed. I think some are planning to reopen soon, but I would like to ask you guys, like how many of you are planning to go into theaters and watch? Di ba? Parang ilan sa inyo pupunta sa Mega Mall to watch a movie? You know, especially at this time, like next week, you know. Feeling ko wala pa. And large percentage of people would rather stay safe and, you know, watch at home muna. Di ba? Huwag naman sana piracy. Di ba? Pero, yun eh. Parang if it's a matter of choice, dun pupunta ang karamihan dun sa health. Di ba? So, wherever it's safer for them. So, yun ang mahirap sa film industry. We're attacked on both sides. We are having problems and we can't make our product, and we're having huge problems in trying to sell our product also, because yung distribution channels namin, which are theaters, are highly affected also. What kept me busy during ECQ? Oh, by the way, guys, dun sa mga bagong nakapag-log on, sinabi ko kanina na if you guys have questions, feel free. Just put it in the chat. If I notice it, I'll answer it right then and there. Pero baka hindi ko lang mapansin because it's moving, it's scrolling. Pero kung hindi ko mapansin, please re-ask your questions after I go through yung mga talking points nila Miss Dagny. Kasi then I can answer anything you guys want, you know. Pero gusto ko lang sanang pasadahan to. Gusto kong tapusin lang muna. What kept you busy during ECQ? I was writing like morning, noon, and night, trying almost, you know. Very hard. It's a very long script. Like I said kanina, it's the first time really that I've written in 3 or 4 years, and I'm on page 100 already of the script, and malayo pa ako. But I will be done with it by tomorrow kasi yun po ang deadline namin, so wala po akong choice. Pero okay naman, I'm very happy with it. What I realized, yung reward or yung for writing is that it became an escape. So pag medyo magulo ang nangyayari sa labas, when you write, or even for visual artists, so when you paint, you end up kind of visiting that world, that headspace, muna. So when I write, I would visit the world of the movie that I was writing. And that made me feel better, you know. Kasi nandun ako sa ibang mundo. Ibang mundo yon, yung rules dun sa mundong yon I can control. Yung mundong yon that I'm creating, things make sense. You know, there are rules, there is order. And sometimes, unfortunately, or many times, unfortunately in real life, walang order, walang rules, di ba? So, yun, nakatulong sa akin yun. And then, yun na nga, nasabi ko kanina that I started sketching just for fun. Sobrang hobby lang. I haven't even touched or picked up a pencil in 20 years. But because of the pandemic situation, yun, I started drawing. And then that was really sobrang mas na-impress ako. Kasi I've been collecting art for medyo bago pa lang, medyo a couple of years. But mas na-impress ako dun sa mga artists. Kasi it takes me so long to do one sketch. And then yung mga idol ko na mga painters, my God, you know, the things they do are 100 times hard, you know, more complex. And stuff like so. Is that Mike Toma Cruz? We have a series like Money Heist that our home studio can sell to Netflix. Oh, I would love to do that. If we don't, if we don't, let's make one. My last movie was a heist movie, so I love that genre. So anytime, you know, game ako dyan. Anton Lorenzo from Village Art, thank you so much. How are you? Wait, tell us what the new normal is like in your world. How are you adapting to this currently and in the long term? Actually, what we've been doing for the past few weeks is we've been trying to set up protocols for the film industry on how to make things safe pagbalik ng tao sa pagtatrabaho. We've actually been meeting with a lot of government officials. We had a congressional meeting nung Monday. Nakaka-nervous pala pag puro congressman yung kausap mo sa Zoom. But, you know, we have to do what we have to do to protect our people and to protect the workers in the industry. Ang mahirap kasi sa amin is we're trying to find a way to come back. We're trying to find a way to resume because in the film industry, a lot of them are day laborers by nature. They're not regular employees. So, a lot of them kasi they travel, they skip from one project to another. So, sila yung walang trabaho in the last 3 months. If the day laborers, of course, no work, no pay, and there's been no work at all in the past 3 months. So we're trying to find a way to help those guys, yung mga, kasi silang pillars ng industry natin, yung mga laborers. So we're trying to do that. We're trying to find work for them, but of course, it's our responsibility to make sure that it's safe for them to go back to work. So that's what we've been doing in terms of preparing for the new normal in the future. How are you preparing for the post-pandemic future? Oh, that's all we've been doing. All we've been doing is really trying to prepare for more, for how to help the industry survive. Kasi hirap na nga ang Filipino film industry before. Because not just because of, even before the pandemic situation, hirap na every year because of course ang daming Hollywood, and then we get to be compared to Hollywood films wherein the biggest budget of a Filipino film, I think, is the smallest budget of catering ng Hollywood film. But we're unfairly compared, like apples to oranges, but hirap eh. But other than that, not just other films, but other mediums, like TV, Netflix, streaming, social media, YouTube, FB, those are all competition for our audience, So, yun lang. So, medyo mahirap yon, yung part na yon. That's why we are trying to, look for ways also to engage the audience, kasi feeling ko naman content is still king. If you have the right content, if you have the right story, if you any story that will engage, feeling ko naman you will still be able to attract an audience. So yun yung pinaka namin, yung mission namin, to really bring back the Filipino film industry to its, glory talaga. What are your ongoing and future projects? Promote. I actually cannot. Kasi ang problema sa amin is that any developing and future projects are confidential, so I can't even tell you guys like the titles or anything like that, any specifics. So I would love to promote, but wala akong ma-promote right now. I mean, like the script that I'm doing, I'm planning to actually produce that and direct it, but that's next year. So I will promote that in 16 months or something. I don't know kung kailan na new normal, kung kailan na talaga makakapag full blast ang shoots. Pero sa ngayon wala akong ma-promote, sayang. What do I think is the role of art? And in my case specifically, what is the role of film cinema in this pandemic situation? Alam mo, it's ironic because hindi kami makagawa ng pelikula. Limitado kami sa pag-produce. Pero yung content naman that is existing in TV, movies na sa Netflix, and even the Filipino movies, of course, that are on Netflix, yun naman na parang nakabuhay dun sa tao. Yun naman ang nag-entertain sa tao during the whole lockdown and all that. So parang for me, sobrang importante pa rin ng media of film. It's very, very important for us to still have these forms of entertainment. Kasi especially in times like this, in tough times, or this was a trying time for everyone, of course. And can you imagine going through the lockdown? I think I saw this on an FB page somewhere. Can you imagine going through the lockdown tapos walang Netflix, walang TV, walang TV show, walang movie? Can you imagine? I would go crazy, if there were no stories, And one of the ways I think most of us survived the lockdown is stories. We told each other stories, or we watched stories, or we heard stories. Whenever I would write my script, I would listen to podcasts. I haven't listened to podcasts in years, Hindi ako ma-podcast eh. Pero when I was writing my story, I listened to podcasts. Puro true crime. So all of the ones who like true crime podcasts, yeah. So that is that's the role of film, specifically cinema, because it's not just I think that one way of looking at film and cinema is that it's a distraction. It's just entertainment. That is very, very valid, And I think in terms of that's the vast majority of films that are produced is for mass entertainment, para maaliw, Pero the other form of, or the other utility of cinema is to be a mirror to society. And I think that was by the greatest Filipino filmmakers. They really used cinema not so much to just entertain people or for temporary distraction. They used cinema to cast light on medyo the darker areas of society. So if it's anything to critique or criticize something that we have to fight against or what, film and cinema is very very important in that regard, because there's nothing that would really engage someone more than using a story. When you use a story, that's how you inspire. That's how you inspire someone to really be active in something. Or that's how you can change someone's opinion, or that's how you can engage someone, converse with someone, have a discourse with someone, is by using a story. And that's the role of cinema. Yes, it is absolutely used to entertain, but it has way more power than that. That's why we're really really trying hard to not just save the industry, but hopefully bring it back to even greater days ahead. How would you like to remember these times? I would like to. I don't want to remember these times. I was always I like. I don't know. One weird thing about me is I like even numbers. Because I was born October 2, so I like even numbers. So I was looking forward to 2020. So I thought 2020 is going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year for work, for projects, for mga. It's just going to be good. And then, unfortunately, 2020 is not proving to be a great year for everyone. So parang, although I when I was thinking about this question, sabi ko, I don't want to look at 2020 in a negative light, even if of course so many negative things happened, di ba? But what I'm trying to do, because I don't like regret in any form, whatever mistakes we do, I'm sure there's a reason for that, and whatever mistakes, whatever hardships we go through, we become stronger. As a result. So I don't want to look back at 2020 and hate it, and then so I've always been trying to look at the brighter side, or at least the positive things that came out, because I don't believe naman it's all negative stuff. So for me personally, how would I like to remember these times? This is when I got a lot closer to my kids, because I would just chat with my eldest. I would just chat with her, because she's turning 15. So parang we would just chat, and I wouldn't necessarily have that much time before to chat with her when I'm working all day. And then when I get home, she's super tired from school. So hindi kami nakakapag-chat, unlike when she was younger. So now during the lockdown situation, we just chat. We just, chat, teen stuff, And then I also got very, very much closer to my younger kids, my younger daughter and my bunso, who's a boy, because my wife and I homeschool them. So we every single day we take time to teach them and go through lessons, go through exercises. We got even closer with that, because I was not able to do that syempre before, holding down a day job. So now yun yung parang the way I would like to remember these times is when I kind of discover, I got closer to my kids. I had so much more quality time with my family. And for me, that inspires me to create again. I think that makes me a better producer, better filmmaker, better director, because I'm inspired, by the time I spent with my family. So, I'm very, about that. I'm very thankful and grateful about that. I get to go to mass, even if it's online with my daughters. I get to wrestle with my son. Those are the things na you think pala, when you're going through it, parang it's not a big deal. I was just playing with him, I was just wrestling with him, and he was, beating up my face like that. But once you grow older, you realize those were the golden moments. Those are the ones that you remember, So parang, that's what I would prefer to remember during the lockdown. It's how our industry fought for survival, how I was able to spend time with my family, how I was able to learn how to sketch, how to draw, how I was able to finish my first script in years. the the positives, you know. And I think that's a better way to live than looking back in anger. Always is. Okay, next is any parting words. Ano, mamaya na yan. May parting words agad. So, 6:30 na pala. Okay guys, that's all. Hindi, loka lang. Okay, I'm gonna go through some of your questions and see what I can answer. Wait lang. Oh, by the way, okay, I also wanted to, because I wanted to give a special, this is Art Plus magazine, but I'm not an artist. I just collect art. I'm a sketcher, if that's a word. I wanted to, the one main thing I do when it comes to art is like art toys. Like I collect art toys, especially by Filipino designers and toy makers. So I love those guys. Like, okay, so I promised myself I was gonna get some and show it to you guys. Wait lang. So, where are they? Oh, here. Okay, so this is called, so I'm just gonna do a short intro to the kind of art toys that I collect. So this is by an artist named Clarice, and okay, this is called Off-White Lady. All right, so this is Off-White Lady. This is they're called the fragile colorway. And then the reason why she's Off-White Lady is yes, yeah. So parang, and then she has like hype sneakers on. These are Yeezys, I believe. So it's just smart, man. Like I just found it so funny. Off-White Lady. That's just brilliant. Another line that I try to collect, but I actually cannot because they're very, very rare and hard to come by. So I only have a couple of pieces of him. It's Crayon Chicken. So this is Buck. This is Buck Dragon. That's why he's colored yellow. This is the Bruce Lee parang colorway. So this is Buck. Love it. Super hard to come by now. So parang I just have I have a very few pieces of his. And then one of my favorite toy designers, Pinoy siya, pero I think he lives in, I believe, Singapore, but he comes here often, and this is, I think, one of my favorite figures of his. It's called the Shinigami, and this is by Wetworks. This is by Carlo Cacho. And then I met the dude for the first time earlier last year, I think. And then he was kind enough. I asked him to autograph it. Funny, di ba? I asked him to autograph the figure, and then he signed it. Usually they sign it on the bottom, but he did something extra by putting a design on the back of the head. It's reverse, but it says "Death takes no bribes." It's like, that's cool, dude. Like, that's cool. So Shinigami, also medyo very, very difficult to find now. And then parang, I guess one of the big boy of Pinoy designer toys is Quicks. And one of my favorite of Quicks is, syempre, Manila Killa. Okay, so he created this. He created the design. He created the character, created the colorway and all of that. The reason why I love this, I never told Quicks this because I got to meet him, and he's a great guy. But the reason why I love the Manila Killa colorway is that it reminds me of Francis Magalona, and Francis Magalona was my very first actor. I was 21 years old, 22, and I was assigned a movie for television, and then. Kiko was my very first actor ever. He was the first actor I've ever directed professionally. So whenever I saw Manila Killa, Francis M. So I always remember that dude. Of course, part of the Itbulaga family, we miss him. So, yun lang. I just wanted to show you guys na, of course, it's all about, I think you can see one painting here. I collect paintings, not so big. That's a Jason Cortez, one of my favorite artists. But I also collect like designer toys, Parang for me, it's all different versions of art, different versions of creativity, So I was writing, sketching, and looking at art, photographing art, looking at paintings, collecting paintings. Just, I think that's really how I am. I'm a creative creature by nature, I think. That's, it's what I do. Okay, let me go through yung mga questions lang. Direct, next movie ni Maine. Oh, taga-alab, yes. Next movie ni Maine, sana horror. I have no idea kung ano next movie ni Maine. Things were all planned for 2020, and then COVID. So, as of now, we still have to. I haven't talked to her recently. I know she's back in Bulaga, but I haven't talked to her to really lay down the revised plans. Kasi parang, of course, ang priority namin is safety for everyone, including the actor. So, we're gonna focus on that first, yung protocols and making sure everyone's safe, and then we'll decide. Or we'll decide together with her, of course, on what she's going to do next. Which artists do I collect? Oh my God, I already answered. No, in terms of designer toys, that's them. So, yeah, that's Quicks, Crayon Chicken, Wetworks, Claris, and then here, well, in my room, there's a lot. I like a lot of artists. Jason, of course. Bong Bayog, I love. Marisa Platt's paintings of yung mga glass, like, I love that. Who else do I have here? Badong Banyares, I think. I don't know if he's here. Parang I saw his name, but I have in my room. Who else? Mark Maak, I have outside. And then, yon. I realized early on that I lean towards contemporaries talaga. When I started collecting, people were advising me to invest in masters. I realized it doesn't speak to me as much. I love the masters, obviously, but it doesn't speak to me as much as the contemporaries. That's why I like the new stuff. Chelsea Theodosius, I think, is here. Who else? Nauna kanina si Sarah. I think before me nauna si Sarah. I have a Sarah piece, one, and it's right there, So, yon, So I gravitate towards contemporary artists. I think those works speak to me. Wow, didn't know it was so heavily tacked. Oh yes, film industry, village art. Hi guys. Oh, I think Chelsea is here. Hi Chelsea, if you're here. Ange. Hi Ange. Tips on how to make a short film for beginners or someone interested. Do you work on the script or storyboard? No, work on the script first. So the skeleton of anything, of any film, whether it be short film or major motion picture, full feature, the skeleton of that, or the source of all of that, the seed of all of that is a script. So write a script first. Don't worry about format. Don't worry about, if you're doing the right thing. There's no such thing as the right thing, So just write it down. I started writing the script that Aloy Adlawan and I wrote for Cinemalaya that thankfully won Best Screenplay. I distinctly remember I started writing it on a napkin, like in a restaurant, kasi we were chatting, and then I started putting down the structure of the story. So it was an Italianis, I believe, in Tomas Morato. Yeah, and so that movie, which ended up winning for Best Screenplay, that started on table napkin, So just write down a story in whatever manner, in whatever way you want. And then if you're a visual artist, that's a plus, because then you can do a storyboard. And then you can, kasi the more prepared you are before you shoot, the less money you'll have to spend. So if you're doing an indie shoot, you have to be 10 times more prepared, because you can't afford to make mistakes. That's how I started. So I used to storyboard every single shot of my films, and that becomes very time consuming, but it really helps, because when you have it storyboarded the way commercial directors do it, pakita mo lang sa crew mo sa umaga during the or sa pre-prod, alam nila kung anong gagawin. Everyone, it's almost the storyboard is almost like a window to your mind on how you see the movie. So I really, really highly suggest na you sketch it out, draw. Again, there's no, you can look on you can Google what a storyboard format is like, but basically it's just comics, so it's panels showing you the shots and all of that. And to those who want to do short films, my God, now is the time to do it. Especially during the pandemic, I know of a lot of people who just tried making short films through Zoom, through their cell phone. People have come up with really good creative stuff, and by all means do that. Like, now is the time to look for ways to really express your creativity. So go for it. I think the world needs more stories, and even more, the world needs positive stories. The world needs inspiration right now. So if you can be an instrument of that inspiration, it is your responsibility to do it. Do we have a series like Money Heist? Oh, I think I said this, that your home studio can sell to Netflix. Yeah, it is not easy to sell to Netflix. We were lucky enough to have closed a couple of deals with them. Imagine You and Me, the Aldab film that I directed, is on Netflix. Banal is on Netflix, which we produced. They're very, very. They have for those. This is a tech thing, so bear with me. Netflix has probably one of the most challenging technical riders I've ever seen. A technical rider is the list of requirements your film needs to have, or your material needs to have, before they could even use it. Okay, I have never ever, and I've studied in the States. I worked in the States. I worked in Disney. I have never seen a technical writer like that. It was literally, I don't even remember how many pages it was. Sobrang haba ng technical writer nila, because they want to make absolutely sure that every aspect of your film is at its highest quality. And not just the resolution of the video, the frequency of the sound that you captured on set. They want unmixed and all that. Ang dami nilang requirements, but that is the very reason that the films look great on Netflix. I think one of the comments that a fellow producer said, sabi niya, mas maganda pa yung pelikula ko sa Netflix kaysa sa movie theater dito. And there's a lot of factors for that. Lumens ng theater projector, minsan mababa na, mahina na yung bumbilya. Netflix, it's the most beautiful your film will look. Why? Because my God, the requirements that they ask for. So that's why why I love working with Netflix as a creative. It's like seeing the best lighting for your painting. That's your story will be told by the best storyteller with the best actors. And working with Netflix, and that's what I realized. That's why they're super strict with technicals. Kasi naman, you owe it to your film to be presented in the best way possible. So from sound and editing, video, resolution, everything. So, galing. But it was quite an experience. Okay, and then let me go through. Agree, feel-good films. Hello, Joel. Feel-good films are therapy right now. Yes, yeah. Right now, I believe we all need that. We all need some. We all need laughter in our lives, inspiration, especially at this time. So if you find something like that, share it. Tell. If you discover something on Netflix, or discover a good book, hear a good song, or anything, share it. Just tell other people about it. Spread the love, spread the positivity. Because negativity spreads so fast, it's like a virus. So negativity is passed on very, very quickly. Positivity, you have to push. You have to pay it forward. So let's do that. So Sergio is here. Hello, Sergio. Are we far from producing a film like Parasite that can break into Hollywood, Cannes, or Sundance? Oh, that's a great question. I was lucky enough to, because we had work. We were actually in Cannes last year. There was no Cannes Film Festival this year, but we had work to do in Cannes last year, so I was able to go. First time. It was my first time. I didn't get to see Parasite because it was sold out long ago. So parang, although if you guys now it's funny in hindsight, because Parasite was not wala siyang buzz nung Cannes. Wala at all. The buzz was Tarantino because no one had seen Once Upon a Time in America. Kasi, in Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. No one had seen it yet because he had been editing all the way till the deadline. He actually passed the deadline for Cannes. Tapos, he had no, he didn't have the film finished. He literally finished it daw days before the premiere. Sobrang minadali lang niya yung pag-e-edit. So, everyone was looking forward to that. Oh my God, ang pagbabalik ni Tarantino sa Cannes. Everyone, Brad Pitt yan, and Leo, and all of that. No one saw Parasite coming. No one. Like even in Cannes, it was like everyone was looking for the stars, right? Every single person who would be lucky enough to watch a screening of Parasite just talagang were blown away by it. They were saying that's gonna win. So of course it won, but no one anticipated it would make history naman by winning the Oscar itself. So in terms of the Filipinos, we have the talent for it. Definitely, we have the talent. Ang mahirap lang i-match is if you Parasite was basically made with a budget probably 10 times one of our more expensive. So if you can think of an expensive movie to make here, Parasite was done for at least 10 times that. No one has that kind of money here because unlike the Korean film industry and TV industry, they have the whole world as their audience. A Korean producer can make one Crash Landing on You, and Filipinos will watch it. All Filipinos. It was number one on Netflix for weeks. If a Filipino producer makes a film or a TV series, I don't think anyone in Korea would watch it. So we have a very limited audience. Unlike Korea, they've medyo spread culturally their product across so many countries na ang daming sumusubaybay, pag meron silang bago. So yon, we have the talent for it. We have great stories. Parasite is about class structure. My God, sobrang perfect rin sa atin yon. And we have, I think some Filipino directors have made really good movies about social stratification. However, we just don't have that kind of money the way Korea does. And remember, the Korean film industry is one of the most supported by their government. In terms of tax incentives, the government gives subsidies, and then they help out in mga seed money pang launch na. They're sobra silang protected by the government and helped and supported by the government. That's why ang layo ng reach nila. For Parasite to have won the Oscar, it took many years to build that ladder. So Parasite was able to climb to the top, but so many filmmakers built that ladder, for that breakthrough to happen. So I think we're still there, but one day. Do you find that some of the film set protocols being proposed by filmmakers and producers for the new normal are feasible and safe? That's the question we've been trying to solve with the congressmen and and the branches of government that we're dealing with. Ang hirap ng ang hirap because we could say na some of the protocols are unfair or unfeasible, but of course we all agreed that the priority is the safety of all people concerned. So if that's the deal, then we'll make it work. So parang we're trying to find a way of the best parang balance right now, because we don't want producers to just stop producing. Because if it's just not feasible, if it's not doable, if I'm just gonna put out all of this money and none of that money is coming back, I don't think anyone in their right mind would do it. So, yun lang yung namin. We're trying to find that balance where it's still feasible for people, but of course very, very safe, or as safe as possible for all workers. Direk, di ba you're into script writing rin? So, do you care for a writing workshop for the aspiring ones? Yeah, I just said it, I mentioned it kanina, that I am currently in the Ricky Lee writing workshop. You never stop learning, ever. So I've written scripts, I've directed, but I've wanted to attend Sir Ricky Lee's workshop for, I think, since I was in Ateneo, because he was my professor in Ateneo. So, 20 years, guys. So parang I've been wanting to join it. I finally joined it, and I'm finally almost complete with my next script. Uh, Direk, Sir Joe, Direk, I heard you are eyeing to acquire some pieces from Art Basel. How many are you planning to get? Mga 30 to 40 pieces lang. I have never been to Art Basel. That is one of my dreams. There is the Art Basel is an art show. Like there, there's one in Hong Kong, which was closed this year, and there's one in Switzerland, the main one, which is also closed this year. So hopefully, if you guys have a chance, of course, after the pandemic situation has abated, next year go to art fairs. Like really, that's really cool. And then there's a lot of course art in the park, Manila Art, Art Fair Philippines, but also go to the events where the designer toys are. Sobrang cool. Like ToyCon. I don't think there's a ToyCon this year. But go to all those places because it's all different kinds of art, So sobra siyang nakaka-inspire. Sarah, hi Sarah. Thank you so much. I watched your IG live kanina. So I saw your ganda ng mga bagong piyesa. There. Okay. So, yun. So that is, I am almost out of time actually. So if you have any last questions, does anyone have any last questions before I wrap things up? So, it wasn't unsafe. There. So yun. So I think those are the things that I just wanted to impart to you guys. Parang I was lucky to have found things that inspired me, throughout the. Of course, if you're with family, take advantage of that. Take advantage of that. If you are with your, if you're lucky enough to have to be with your parents, take advantage of that. I haven't seen my parents in almost 4 months. We see each other on Zoom, but of course that's completely different. We used to, syempre, have family lunches every weekend. We haven't had that in almost 4 months. So parang, if you are with your kids, take advantage of that. If you're with your loved ones, with your partner, take advantage, There's a lot of negativity out there. We all know that. There's a lot of negativity in social media. That's never going to end, especially when things are going bad outside. That's never going to end the negativity. So what we need to do is fight that with positivity, and one of the ways you can do it is create. You counter the blackness that's out there in terms of yung hopelessness and the anxiety and all of that by light. You counter it with light, shine a light on stuff, like ako, when I started drawing, I just gained a new appreciation for the art I already had by other artists. Like I love them even more because I have a better. Take advantage of that. If you are with your, if you're lucky enough to have to be with your parents, take advantage of that. I haven't seen my parents in almost 4 months. We see each other on Zoom, but of course that's completely different. We used to, syempre, have family lunches every weekend. We haven't had that in almost 4 months. So parang, if you are with your kids, take advantage of that. If you're with your loved ones, with your partner, take advantage. There's a lot of negativity out there. We all know that. There's a lot of negativity in social media. That's never going to end, especially when things are going bad outside. That's never going to end the negativity. So what we need to do is fight that with positivity. And one of the ways you can do it is create. You counter the blackness that's out there in terms of yung hopelessness and the anxiety and all of that by light. You counter it with light, shine a light on stuff, like ako, when I started drawing, I just gained a new appreciation for the art I already had by other artists. Like I love them even more because I have a better appreciation of how hard it is. I've never even tried oil painting. I don't think I will because it's way too hard. Graphite is the way to go for me. But yun, you tell stories and like I said, share stuff. And as I guess that brings me to my parting words. Kasi in the guidelines, any parting words you would like to share with the Art Plus audience? Well, number one, I wanted to thank Art Plus magazine. We are in our office. We're addicted to this magazine. Every time it arrives, like we go through it. So we just love the magazine. But I am thankful for this opportunity to be able to do this. Do the takeover and do live with you guys. The thing that the last thing I wanted to, as parting words, to share with you guys is when things go normal, or even now, support, the businesses that are out there, especially the Filipino-owned, especially the small businesses. There are so many people now na walang trabaho. So many people had to lose their jobs. There's so many people had, who lost their jobs and all of that. And it's a difficult situation for everyone involved, and a lot of these people they had to, because they lost their jobs, they ended up doing selling stuff from home, or online or anything like that. If there's people like that around you, or people like that, support them. If you have the means to be the light for someone else, please be that light. If you have the means to support someone in their darkest times, be that. Because if we were in their shoes, of course we would want other people to help us as well. So when watch Filipino TV shows, watch Filipino films. When the time comes when it's safe to go to the theaters, go out. Buy Filipino products and just support, because the economy and the people out there, they're really hurting. And like si Sarah was saying kanina, it's very hard for artists because walang shows, walang sales, walang kahit ano, and this is the way we all make a living. So one way we could do it is just by supporting each other. And not just monetarily. Also, this has been I think it was also mentioned earlier that mental health became much more of a widespread issue during lockdown, because everyone felt everyone felt the anxiety, everyone felt yung pagkakulong and all of that. So if you can be the light for someone in that regard also, drop a message, a text, call, just randomly, like just call a friend, a classmate, your siblings, I do random calls to my mom, syempre, and my dad, people from the office, people you work with, yung mga ganon, just say hi, how are they and all of that. And sometimes you have no idea, it saves their day, So just be that, just be the light for someone else, because I think we really need that right now. The world, not just the Philippines, but the world needs that right now. More positivity. So, support what's out there. Support your fellow, Filipino craftsmen, artists, and all that. And just be nicer to each other, I think. Let's support each other. Because, again, Sarah said it kanina, this too shall pass. I guarantee it. This too shall pass. So, and the best way for us to get through this is together and helping each other. So that's it. That's what I can leave you guys with before IG cuts me off. And I wanted to thank everybody. Thank you everyone for logging on for the IG Live takeover for Art Plus Magazine. And I will see you guys around. Thank you. Peace. Good night.